get him on the link to watch it then. Oh, we're
Hey, what's going on? It's KLA Cloud the Wanderer, and I have a lovely guest on a Tuesday night, Lisa Labadie. She's a boxing coach, a strength coach, and a bodybuilder. Welcome, Lisa. How you been?
great. Thank you for having me on tonight. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I really appreciated you coming too. I really appreciate it. Your friend can also tune in YouTube, KLA the Wanderer. So, just
Okay,
to give
let
them
me
the
text
heads
him.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, so
we'll jump. We'll do that.
yeah. And show some pictures while you do that. You have a nice
That
physique
sounds
and
perfect.
yeah.
Thank you.
So are you what division you are in, like in bodybuilding? Are you bikini or figure?
So I have been figure, and I'm actually looking to make a change this year. And
Okay.
I will be competing April 12th at a regional competition in Ontario, Canada. And I'm returning to go to the wellness division. It's a little bit more suited to my body type. I grew up figure skating. So having the larger lower body type and the smaller upper body is a little bit more natural for me. And I've been really working on getting into my leg days more, which has been a lot of fun because I can really lift with my leg days. And I'm really looking forward to that this year. I did qualify in the figure division last year to go to North Americans. Um, so I will be attending North Americans in Pittsburgh in August. Um, I also plan on doing competing both regionally and nationally in Canada this year in the wellness division.
Okay. All right. That's cool. That's cool. Like but before we go into the
Yep.
divisions, like how did you get into bodybuilding?
So this is to me the cutest story, and I told it to the person that inspired me, and she was very surprised many years ago. When I was 16, I was a figure skater and coming to the end of that career. I was competitive in what they call synchro, which is the team skating that you see, and it was time to move on. I jumped into the gym and watched a family friend lifting and bodybuilding, and I said I want to do that. So I did. I watched her and I mimicked everything she did. She had a phenomenal physique. She's a nurse. She's a very inspirational woman to watch her train. And I looked at it, we had a board. And at that time, and their numbers now that, we put to shame, but there was a women's board for top lifters. I wanted to make that board. So her name is Eve Rice. And many years after I started to get to national level, when I told her that she was my inspiration, she was quite shocked to find that out. But that's how I started bodybuilding. I was 16 years old and I needed some place to put my drive and my ambition. And it went into the gym.
Was this bodybuilder competed or anything like that?
I don't know if she ever actually competed. I think she really just liked the challenge of it.
No. Okay.
I don't recall her ever competing.
Okay. How long you was training under her?
I didn't really train under her. I don't think
Okay.
she even knew that I was watching her.
Oh
I
wow. Okay.
just so when I what maybe to clarify something. So when I was 12, I started coaching figure skating. When I was 16, I achieved my figure skating pro status as a coach. and continued in the figure skating world till I was 18.
Okay.
So I took what I had learned as a figure skating coach and started to take those biomechanics and apply them in the gym. And I just started learning everything I could read, everything I could find, to grow my knowledge base. Anybody that would answer a question, I would ask them, how do I achieve this goal? How do I achieve that goal? And I started out 100% all on my own drive, my ambition. And I would buy every book I could find and just start learning. So the first book I ever bought was Corey Everson.
Yeah. Corey
We
Everson will
all
do it
remember
to
that.
you. Yeah, Corey Everson will do it to you. Yeah,
Yes, I
I
did.
remember.
I went that book cover to cover.
Yeah, yeah. I Corey Everson Muscle and Fitness magazines.
That's
I
right.
used in the newsstands and pick it up, and that's when I first met her and Linda Murray. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then and there's one thing about Corey Everson. She stood out because she was in movies and all that stuff, and yeah, she,
She's the
I
real
think,
deal. Like,
yeah,
she
yeah,
inspired so many women.
yeah. I come at, yeah. Was that your favorite bodybuilder? Like, or do you had other favorites
I would
beside Corey?
I think one of my favorites. And I've also done my posing training underneath her. And have watched her grow in her career, and we all know her very well. Someone else I admire a great deal is Mindy O'Brien.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And I've
I'm
told
not
her
really
that I
familiar
think she's
with
a
her.
phenomenal woman. So Mindy
I'm not
O'Brien
familiar.
is,
Okay,
she's Canadian,
okay,
and she's probably one of the most successful Canadian bodybuilders that we've ever had. She's not only successful on the Olympia stage, on the Arnold stage, but successful in the fact that she's a beautiful person.
okay.
So I admire her from all angles.
Yeah. I mean, the Canadian bodybuilders. I mean, you guys are phenomenal. I don't know. Are you familiar with Melanie Horton? She's she's in the bodybuilding division. She was in physique, but she's been
Yep.
bodybuilding for a very long time. Yeah,
Yes, she
yeah,
has.
yeah. So
So I've
this
had a lot of people that inspired me. But I think the greatest people that inspire me aren't bodybuilders.
okay.
They're the people that I see that face everyday challenges. I've never had to face them. I've never been largely overweight. Genetically, I am very gifted in many ways. I still have to work at it. But the people that inspire me most are those with the greatest struggle. The people that you may never see them on a stage, but when you see them in real life, they're what truly remind me of how lucky I am to be able to do what I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like there's like people that were like overweight, and then just decided to wanted to like lose the weight majority of the times.
Lose the weight, come back from severe health issues.
Yeah.
I would say another example of that, a good example of that is actually my son. My son at a very young age was stricken with an illness that took his ability to walk. They didn't know he'd walk again. And my 5-year-old learned through a lot of pain and suffering how to walk again. So the days that I get up, I'm tired. It'd be a lot easier to sleep in. It'd be a lot easier than to walk away from the diet. I remember my little boy who they didn't make him any promises of a full recovery, who's now 24 years old and a proud member of the Canadian Armed Forces.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I see your picture. I seen his picture of him in a wheelchair when he was a kid, and you, I think you were beside him in his uniform and stuff. Yeah, military uniform. What's the name
That's my boy.
name of the branch that he's in Canada?
So he is a proud member of our Canadian Armed Forces, and he
Oh,
works in the
okay,
artillery unit.
okay. How long he been doing?
He has been a cadet, a reservist, and now is a full member of our reg force.
Yeah.
Since he was 12.
All right. Shout out to him. Yeah. Well, we got
I'll
people
have
in
to
the
let him
chat.
know because he's not. I'm gonna have to send him the link to this so he can
Yeah.
see, because he is my greatest supporter and reminds me of how proud he is of me. He has no idea how proud I am of him.
Yeah. 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 What's his name? If you don't mind me asking.
Not at all. His name's Tyler.
All right. Shout out to Tyler. And we got people on the chat. Balls deep, Schmo gang. Good evening, gorgeous. He's a
I
character,
thank you.
Chicago. In here, smash the like button. Appreciate that. Peace and blessing. His favorite of all time. Make me a moderator. And all the rage George Page, hello people, and all the rage George Page has a comment. Leg day is like the episode of Chappelle when Rick James was at Eddie Murphy's house. F your couch, Eddie Murphy. He just likes saying that. I don't know if you ever tune into the Chappelle show,
Yeah, I
but
have, and I'm a big fan of Eddie Murphy, so that's
okay,
pretty
all
good. I
right,
like that.
all right. As long as you understand, he
I
likes saying that.
actually do. That is really, really awesome.
Yeah. Oh, so like so you started off figure. What made you want to do figure and move to wellness?
So I've actually been so when I initially started competing, I competed in figure, but then actually transferred to bikini because my body type wasn't matching up. I needed some shoulder growth. I needed some development on the overall. As I did take an overall in bikini, in master's bikini, and then made it to top 5 in the Canadian level. However, I took a couple years off. I put some work in, and in my return, it was recommended that I move to the figure division. And I've had a fair amount of success there. I've been repeatedly top 5 at the Canadian level, and I've placed 9th at the North American level. However, it's been a lot of work to keep my legs smaller. I couldn't really give in and train them like I'm capable of. So I last year finished out my year in the figure division, and then as my off season came on, knew that it was just time to change the training over. It's also brought a little bit more balance to my life, in that my body feels a lot more balanced, and my training feels a little bit more suitable to my body style, my body type. So I made the decision when the wellness division was created, but it did take a couple years for me to start that transition.
So you got big. So you have like bigs, like your quads are big.
Yep.
You, okay.
As a figure skater, I was very quad dominant. So if you let me go back to training legs, I can grow them.
No.
I can grow
Who's
them
your
quite
coach?
quickly.
Or who's your coach
I,
that
I
trains you?
I'm currently operating on my own.
Oh, okay,
So
okay. Yeah, you're a fitness trainer. Yeah.
I have a fair amount of credentials behind me. I also am lucky enough to have enough friends in the industry that I don't need someone to sit over top of me and create all my programming. I am more than disciplined enough to understand what I need to do and when I need to do it. And what I do now is I do a tendency to reach out for help. So when I'm struggling with something as I'm moving forward, I do have enough. I've competed long enough now to have enough connections that I ask for help. And, I'll send a friend a progress picture and say, I see this, this, and this problem. This is the program I'm running. Am I missing something?
Right.
Can you give me a redirection? As far as stage work, I do need to reach out. Last year I was working with Mindy O'Brien. I do plan to reach out to her again to continue this season, hopefully. But I've worked with a number of posing coaches, some phenomenal, absolutely amazing Canadian talent that I'm honored to be involved with. So I am currently my own coach. I have worked with Jason Green in the past. He is an amazing coach. I can't say enough about the opportunities he brought to my table.
Right.
But it's now time for me to break out on my own and to push myself. I'm very driven, so I don't need someone to tell me to get up. I'll do it myself.
And how long you been coaching, if you don't mind me asking?
Since the age of 12. So I started coaching
Oh,
figure
age
skating.
of 12. Yeah. Well, I meant bodybuilding. That's what I was.
Bodybuilding?
Yeah.
So bodybuilding has been about the last, I want to say, I'm 48, so I'm going to go, probably since about 24, 25. I've
Wow.
had like a side job of coaching bodybuilding and specializing in strength and conditioning. I really do love to see people recover and do well in life. But I also
Yeah.
love coaching competitive athletes. So I have put people on stage very successfully, but I've also put people in the ring very successfully. I've also put jiu-jitsu artists into international competition and on the mats.
That's interesting. Wow. All the way, George Page. When you do turn pro, will you wait to make your debut or jump in the next year?
That's a really good question. I honestly don't know. Right now, my goal for 2025, and my 2025 has started out absolutely strong and amazing on every angle of my life, is to get pro status. I'll make that decision when the time comes, seeing what my physique looks like, how do I measure up, and if I need to put in the time, then I'm going to put in the time. But I'm going to have to evaluate that at that time.
Yeah. Let's look at some pictures. Yeah. You also do modeling a little bit, of course.
Yeah. I have been
Was you?
asked on a number of occasions to do some modeling. I find that a pretty big compliment when you're above 40 that people want to take pictures of you. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What was like in your first show, like in front of people? Like, were you nervous? A lot of people there.
Oh, my first show. My first show was rough. Stage presence is something I struggle with a great deal. So my first show, I pretty much tripped over my own 2 feet the whole time. I still trip over
Oh
my own
yeah,
2 feet.
that you mentioned that. I think I seen you like trip or something. One of the clips.
Yeah, if you watch the North Americans, the video for North
Yeah,
Americans,
yeah,
you can see a
yeah,
stumble. You can see my nervous stumble as I came out.
yeah.
And
Let's check it out.
all you do, and this is years of figure skating and falling down and getting back up, is whether you stumble or
Yeah,
not, you're still on the stage. You smile and you keep going.
yeah. Can you see it? Yeah, yeah. I see the little
Yeah,
trip.
you can
I
see
mean,
that.
it ain't
Yeah,
a
that
big
little.
deal. Yeah, man, it ain't a big deal. You held your balance. I know you was a little nervous, but you held your balance. That
That
bad,
was my first time at North Americans, and when I came
Yeah,
out ninth, um,
you look nervous a
I,
little
I
bit.
I was
I see it.
floored.
Yeah, you do look a little bit nervous. There was this woman, um, um, when I was at the OCB, I was at an OCB show, and she was a bit stiff. I think it was like her first time there, and she lost a lot of pounds. I think she lost like 155 pounds. You
Wow,
know,
that's impressive.
don't quote me too much because I'm not really accurate. Yeah, but yeah, the announcer was saying it to everybody, and everybody was cheering for her stuff. But she was a bit, I think that was like her first show. Yeah. Uh,
It's
I
yeah,
mean, I don't
hitting.
think that was a big deal. Like too much. No,
It
go
wasn't a
ahead.
big
Say what
deal,
you were saying.
and it was a struggle, but
Yeah.
this is the thing, and this is where a lot of people give up. Is it's really, really
Right.
yeah. There's one of my favorite pictures. um,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really easy to give up when those things happen. It's really easy to step back and go, "Well, now I can't do it. What do I do?" You know what? You learn more from your failures than you ever will from your success.
Right.
So
Now, was
every
it
day,
hard for you? Oh, I'm sorry.
no, so every day is a success because every day I get up and do it again.
Yeah. Like, was it hard for you, like, practicing posing?
Yeah, and it still is. Um,
No.
today my day got a little bit busy, and I wasn't able to get up on my heels and practice my posing. Um, but off season, on season, I now actually practice almost every day. The wellness division, the other reason for the change is it's more natural movement for me.
Mm. Who's your favorite wellness competitor?
Uh, right now I kind of don't have one. I'm following a lot of girls to see the development of the division because the division is so very new. So it's
Yeah,
really hard
yeah,
to have a favorite, and people are kind of fluctuating in and out. And I think a lot of people are seeing where the division's gonna go, and with the addition of the fitness model division this year, it's again gonna change the parameters. So
yeah,
I don't really have any favorites, but I do obviously love to watch my Canadian athletes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like there's a couple of them I know. I know Lily Dong, she's in wellness. I know Graf. I think she's
Yeah.
a training coach, and she's a wellness competitor and stuff. Yeah. Some of them I'm trying to like learn their names because it kind of slips away because it's a
Yeah,
lot
see
of
that's it.
women that compete.
There's so
What?
in the sport has grown exponentially.
Yeah, yeah. What you feel about the fitness
The fitness
the
model.
new fitness model division? Yeah,
I think it's going to be a good entry level for a lot of things. I also think it's going to change the parameters of each division. So as the sport grows and we add divisions to accommodate body types, lifestyle types, it changes. So now, they're they're using Ashley Water as when she won her bikini at Olympia level as what is now fit model. So now that will change what your bikini girls look like, which will change what your wellness girls look like. Um, what do I think of it? I hope it gives somebody an opportunity that to compete comfortably that they may not have otherwise had.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I interviewed a young lady. She's about to enter into the fit model division. She was doing either bikini or bikini or figures, but she jumped into fitness model. Yeah. We all erased George Page. Who were your favorite skaters back in the day? You have any favorite
Elvis
skaters?
Stoico. Elvis
Who?
Stoico, hands down.
Oh, okay.
But I also grew up in Chatham, Ontario,
Mm,
now known as Chatham, Kent. And I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Jalen Bourne.
yeah. When you was how often did you train? I could imagine you train every day, but like did you like do them twirls in the air and all that stuff and
Yes, I did. So
yeah.
I was a jumper, which is why I've got like I have pretty strong legs. I was a jumper. Um, so when I left, I was doing double combinations, working on a double axle, not landing it very successfully, but working on it. I was a synchro skater at the international level. I'm not
Yeah.
very tall, so I was often the girl on the end, and I flew, and it was awesome. It was a great deal of fun. And yes, I did the spins on the ice as well. So, sit spins, camel spins, flying spins. I did all of those. I haven't done any of it in many, many years now.
Mm,
Just because as I've grown into the sport of bodybuilding and between that and coaching competitive MMA athletes, don't get a lot of time.
yeah. Yeah. Now, I mean, well, let me read this chat. Let me read another chat. Have you considered doing physique? I think you could do it. Well, she's doing wellness. She's trying to focus on wellness. So, and all the way George Page, he says fit model is a division. It's going to evolve like bikini. It won't take it long. Yeah, that's his saying.
I fully agree. That's a very accurate statement.
Yeah. Like what was the question I was gonna ask you? Oh yeah, how do you have the time? How do you kind of like how do you fit the time to do bodybuilding, be a MMA, well, not an MMA coach, but like a boxing
Boxing
coach
coach.
and what else? And a strength coach. That's a
So
lot.
the boxing coach and the strength coaching tend to go hand in hand because
Okay.
it's all done out of the club, which is there's a small gym underneath the club. I have a large investment in there in equipment. It's absolutely my baby. Um, so it's all in one building. So that actually does make my life much easier. Generally, my life looks like I get up in the morning, get dressed, pack the wolf pack because I've got like every bodybuilder now these days got the wolf pack
Yeah.
backpack and pack it up with my food, everything otherwise needed, and go to the gym and do my first round of cardio. Yeah, that's when that is actually Brandon LaRose. He
Okay.
is a phenomenal fighter. Love to see him come
Okay.
back if he sees this. Subtle hint.
All right. Did you
Um,
did you train him or
so our head coach needs to,
yeah?
Jason Burgoyne of Pembroke Boxing is the head coach that put him in there as a strength and
Yeah.
conditioning coach. I help make sure my athletes are physically healthy, and are advancing in their skill sets. As their boxing coach, I take a back seat to Jay. Jay is a far more experienced coach than myself.
Okay. How did you get into like boxing coach though? Like what get into boxing?
So, uh, Jason Burgoyne approached me about using my skill set to help with his athletes at
Right.
Pembroke Boxing, and then offered me the opportunity to go take my level 1 boxing. After I'd actually been coaching underneath him for a significant amount of time. And it was a great opportunity, and I always welcome the opportunity for more to learn more. So I jumped at it. So basically, yeah, I was offered an opportunity and I took it.
Okay.
It's not a long story, but exactly as it should be.
Oh, okay. Do you watch boxing or I don't know? I'm not too
I
much of a
don't
boxing
fight.
fan.
I don't
Okay.
fight personally. Um, and I do find it hard to get the time to train to box as much as I want now, because in order to get to a pro card, the reality check is I have to be very, very focused on the bodybuilding, and
Yeah.
it's become, I don't want to say obsessive, but it's taken over time that I would put toward boxing. That doesn't mean I don't wrap up and hit the bag. I do. It's a great stress relief, especially when you're cutting for shows and you don't have as many carbs as you should have, and you might be a little short.
Yeah.
It's a good place to put to put the energy. Um, but I don't fight. Do I understand it? Yes, very much. I understand how to control the ring. Um, you don't always have to be a fighter to see how to benefit your fighters.
Mm, okay. I mean, I probably did a little box. I punched I had the speed bag and the punching bag, and I took a vacation one time somewhere, and I was training a little bit, you know. So that's how far I got with boxing. I probably looked at my Ali documentary videos. I actually have one like Muhammad Ali when how he in the beginning when he was a kid in the sky, he was teaching him how to box stuff.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Well, what I will tell you is I love the bodybuilding world. I really do. But you do, and you're seeing it more and more often now, is it can take over your life. So
yeah.
sometimes you got to step back and balance it with other sports. So
Right.
I do box. I have played rugby. Um, I used to run Spartan races all the time. So in my off season, when I'm not competing, I really do try to round myself out as an athlete. I think it's important, and I think it helps you respect things a great deal more.
Yeah, yeah, bodybuilding, from what I know, like it's not easy to understand when you're trying to learn it. What was it like hard for you to, well, you said that you had to kind of you had to like learn from books, and when you see people, you ask them. Was it like difficult, like in your first like to trying to understand it? Because for me, it wasn't really easy, like the divisions and the point system and all this stuff. you know I just
No, it
asked.
was not easy. It was not easy at all. I I struggled. Some shows were successful and some shows I struggled. All you did was listen to your judge's feedback, listen to your coach's feedback. And I've had multiple coaches and some amazing coaches in my career.
Yeah,
Um, it's a matter of, if you take the time to know yourself and not be afraid to say, I don't know. And a lot of people don't like to do that. They don't like to say, hey, I think I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. Every time I struggle, looks like it's time to go find help. Looks like it's time to ask. I would approach, I worked with, like I said, multiple different coaches over the years, and I've listened to everything they've ever told me, and they've all brought an amazing amount of value to me. I at one point worked with Darren Mealing of Free Fitness, with
mm,
Denise Fanning, that worked with him. She taught me a great deal. I worked with April Dumashall, another Canadian athlete, amateur athlete, and again, listen to everything she had to tell me. All those coaches helped me build. They helped put me where I'm sitting today. And where I'm sitting today is 2025. I'm walking out with a pro card. There is no
yeah,
ifs, ands, or buts. There is no. There is only yes.
Yeah. Did you ever worried about like injuries and stuff training?
Oh, I'm very aware of my injuries. Like I said, I do have a tendency to try new things all the time, and I used to do handstand walks. I don't do
Right.
handstand walks anymore because I fell out of one and hurt myself.
Mm.
And I hurt myself
Uh,
pretty good. Um, Injuries
yeah.
occur, but part of why I like to specialize in strength and conditioning is it allows me to know how to properly heal those injuries, not only for myself, but for my clients as a trainer. Um, so, yeah, I'm always afraid of an injury. And I'm 48. The reality check is how much can my body take? How long can I push my body to its absolute limits? And I think I have many years left before my body's going to tell me it can't do it.
Mm.
But I also listen to myself. You know, if I know when I'm going to hit a wall, it might be time to take a day off. Maybe I need to take a week off and let my body reset. It's accepting the fact that you can't be 100% 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And if you accept
Like,
that, you will reduce your risk of injury.
yeah. Like walk with me with your training. Like what you do like 5 days a week training.
Currently training 6 days a week.
6 days a
I
week. Okay.
use a step mill first. Yeah. So I'm my first round of cardio in the morning, off season or prep season is on a step mill. Um, then breakfast, and I tend to take a break if it's taking clients, administrative paperwork, whatever else needs to be done in my day. I will step away. I will do those things, and then I will come back generally between 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon after I've got an adequate amount of food into me, and then I will do my lifting and stage work. If I am in prep, which I currently am, then I add my additional cardio into that session. So another 15 to 30 minutes, depending on what I require.
Okay.
And that's 6 days a week.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's like, do you get up early? Like, I know you got to get up like 4 o'clock or something like that. Some people tell me that like they get up like 3 or something like it's early.
I am fully self-employed. So
Okay.
I do have a little bit more leisure, but I have for many years, I was working a 9 to 5. So I did used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do it.
Okay.
And then I would go to my 9 to 5. And then I would go back to the gym. And then I would take clients and I would work till 8, 9 o'clock at night. Now I have a little bit more leeway because I am fully self-employed. So now I generally get up in the morning and I can go a little bit slower. So I get up about 7, but my day typically ends about 8 o'clock at night.
Mm.
So
Wow.
it's a little trade-off. It's not quite as early, but it's still early enough.
Yeah. So you got all the way George Page. He said I was more into Tanya Harding.
So were a lot of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
That
I
was
wasn't
funny.
watching.
That was a
I
funny
don't
time
think.
to be a figure skater.
Yeah, I wasn't watching. I remember there was this a scandal though with a figure skating with a figure skater. I think she body with a knee or something like that, and it was a real scandal or something. I forgot.
Oh, it was a whole show. It
Yeah,
was a whole show. I remember it. Yes, Nancy
yeah,
Kerrigan and Tanya Harding.
yeah. Then there was this
I
Asian
remember
girl.
very well.
She was a big deal. I think this was like in the
Christy
'90s or the
Yamaguchi.
2000s. Yeah, Christy Yamaguchi. Yeah, yeah,
Christy
yeah.
Yamaguchi. She was very talented.
Yeah, yeah. That's how far I know with skating. That's how far. I would watch basketball and sometimes football and stuff. So I did watch gymnastics, like especially with the Olympics. Dominique Dawes and other people.
Mhm.
What's her name? Mary Lou Redford. She was in the 80s, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I know. So
Well, the one thing I can say is, as a coach, figure skating made the difference for me as a coach. So, because I was 12 when I started coaching, figure skating breaks down movement to a very fine degree. So, it's given me a better understanding of biomechanics because I had to live it and breathe it. In order to understand, figure skating and gymnastics and dance all have some very things in common. In that the movements are so fine and so intricate that understanding the muscles that create those movements is very, very important, and understanding control of those muscles. So, bodybuilding, they talk about a mind muscle connection. This is how you develop a mind muscle connection, is by understanding how all your small muscles move, how they affect your positioning, how your fast twitch muscle fibers and your slow twitch muscle fibers affect your movement.
how do
So
you
figure
do?
skating gave me an edge.
Okay, I had like two
Sorry?
questions. No, I had two
Okay.
questions where you was talking. One was like, how do you like maintain your mental, doing all this stuff? Because I know bodybuilding is a bit stressful with the prep and all that, and like nerves and getting depleted, and you know, isn't that intense for you? And then you're doing all this. That's a lot for you. I don't know.
It is. It is. So I have a brain that I wish would shut down a little more often than it does.
Yeah.
It does kind of make it hard to sleep. Um, I thrive off it. I thrive off a continual challenge to improve myself and improve the world around me. I'm not saying that I do a number of things. I do journal to take care of my emotional and physical health. I also picked up some of the adult coloring books. So I'll go to the dollar store and I have a whole collection of coloring books. So if I'm feeling a little stressed or things are a little too much, I'll do that. I enjoy playing chess, and there's nothing like putting on Beethoven or Phantom of the Opera and playing chess and just deregulating from the entire bodybuilding world entirely. You do have to learn. It takes over a large portion of my identity, but it's not all of my identity.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, then I had another question. Like, did you ever thought about like training like athletes with figure skating at one point, or I don't know?
No, I did not. Only
Okay.
because as at about 16, when I was coming to the end of my figure skating career, I really actually decided I'd like to be warmer, and I really got tired of frostbite.
Okay.
It's really simple. It's
Yeah.
cold. I love the sport. The sport still has a huge piece of my heart. Um, and I was honored to compete at some very high levels in synchro. When I
Yeah.
see the teams that I used to compete against now, when I watch them, I'm like, I did that. um, I loved it. But there's a time and place for everything. And I think that time and place for figure skating ended for me at 18.
Yeah. And it's cold where you at. It snows in Canada. It's just a lot of big
It's
snows
pretty
up in there.
miserable.
Yeah.
I won't
So
lie.
I,
Right
I could
now,
understand.
right now it's pretty snowy here. It's not fun.
Yeah. Well, it was a nice day today in New York City. Yeah.
It was actually pretty
Well,
decent here too. It was above zero. We'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I want to say
Okay.
I got up to 4 degrees. I'll take it.
All right. All right. All the rage, George Page. Do you have a favorite fighter?
Not currently, no. I do like to study different. I do like to watch different styles, only because what it does is it benefits me when I'm watching my fighters if they have a style similar to some of the more popular boxers. Um, yeah, that was our Rebel in the Valley. That was our amateur fight that Pembroke Boxing puts on, and we are working hopefully towards putting another one together in the spring here in Petawawa. It showcases local talent, and there is a lot of. Um,
Mm,
we have both male and female competitors in our comp class that I can't speak highly enough of.
mm. Do you have any do you see anybody that has like great potential, like as a female?
Yes,
Okay.
but unfortunately, some of them are younger, so I'm not going to bring out names. Yes, I do. There are a number of girls that have come into our gym that you can see the amazing talent. There is so much female talent in Ontario in boxing.
Mm,
Um, I it's amazing to watch. It's absolutely amazing to watch. I know Jason Burgoyne himself has worked with quite a few of them. I haven't had that opportunity yet. I'm still working on my skill set to get up to those levels as in any kind of coaching capacity. But yeah, I've seen some females that are phenomenal. We have some males, obviously, that are talented as well. But it comes down to drive and determination because you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not willing to put in the work and the time, don't bother.
yeah. It's not easy. So I mean, you got to really want to do it. So yeah. Well, I mean, I wish you good luck in the wellness. Like, you mostly like focus on like the legs and like working out on the legs and the posing majority of the times.
Pretty much, yeah. I only lightly train upper body now because I don't need. I've actually probably lost a little bit of size in my upper body, which is acceptable. Um,
Yeah.
it's a little humbling after building it. Um, I'm not lifting as heavy. That's fine, but it's fun to really, you know, put it in on the legs, and have the days that I can push my deadlift up to their max again, my squats up to their max. Um, I also do a lot of Bulgarian split squats. They do make you question your life choices a lot.
Yeah, I heard about the split squats. Yeah. How have you improved as a bodybuilder than before? I don't know if I can ask that question.
I like to think I improve every year. I have had some years, um, not necessarily last year, but the 2 previous years, there was a lot of things in my personal life going on that made it really hard to compete. Um,
Mm,
so those 2 years were a lot of growth, but I think there were a lot of emotional and personal growth in the bodybuilding world for me to have to pick myself up from some of my, I want to say, darkest moments to still get on the stage and feel like I belong there. I've grown a lot physique wise. I've grown a lot mentally. It's hard to put my finger on one or two things, but it's changed me as a human entirely. And I think
yeah,
I'd like to hope for the better, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that would argue the other.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, keep striving. You'll get there. I'm not in that world like that, but from what I know and see, it's a lot of dedication. and I couldn't be a bodybuilder because it's a lot of finances and like and sponsors. There was this bodybuilder that I follow, and she was like saying that nobody supports her and stuff like that, and you know for you the financial part is it doesn't affect you like that, does it?
Oh, it definitely does. But I think what you need to do is you need to understand where your priorities lie.
Yeah.
I'm not taking fancy vacations. I make sacrifices.
Yeah.
You have to determine if the sacrifices are worth it for you. They're worth it for me. I come off that stage, whether I walk off that stage in last place, first place, or anywhere in between, I'm part of a very small percentage of women that really do push themselves to the max. How many 48-year-old women do you know that can step on a stage and do this? I'm more than willing to make those sacrifices. And I think that's what you have to understand. If this is the world you want to get into, and if a pro card is something you truly want, you will make the sacrifices. I live in a small bachelor apartment. I'm very happy with it. Like I said, I'm not going on big trips. I budget my funds. I look at my competition season coming up and say, this is what I can afford to do this year. This is what I can afford to do. I looked last year at what I wanted for this year, and I wanted North Americans and 2 Canadian competitions. I know how much my Canadian competitions are going to cost me, and I've been down to North Americans, so I have a vague idea of what that's going to cost. I started putting money aside and budgeting for this over a year ago. Those are the choices you make if you want to be here. And they're not fun choices, but they are required.
Yeah. This person, she's a pro too. So, but she like, nah, I'm not doing anything this year, because sometimes she she talks about how people don't support her, and and she has to do it by herself. So
we all have to do it by ourselves. No, but no, none of us get. I don't want to say so. Financially, I have to do it by myself. Emotionally, I don't do it by myself.
Right.
But financially, I have to do it by myself. I am 100% on my own in this world. I have my son. I don't have a husband to support me or prop me up, and I don't need one. I can do this myself. Is it expensive? Yes. Does that mean you work hard? Yes. Does that mean you budget? Yes. Is it always fun? No. But what do you want? And you have to ask yourself that.
Yeah. Different strokes for different folks.
Exactly. I love when people tell me, oh, they look at, they're like, I could never do what you do. And I'm like, you know what? My life is very unique. And most people would be absolutely miserable in it.
Yeah, I would. I think I would. I think I probably would. I mean, I think I probably, like, let's say if I was competing or something, and I think I would try to do a couple of shows. If things don't go right, I would give it maybe like 2 years. After a while, I would hang it up after a while. You're competing with other people, and how was competing against other people was for you? Like, was that a challenge?
Sure, it's a challenge to compete against other people, but at the end of the day, you can't look at it as competing against other people. Right. You compete against what you brought to the stage last time. You compete against yourself. If you're too busy worrying about your competition, you're not focused on what you need to do.
Yeah.
You need to focus on you, what you do on that stage, and what you're responsible for. The outcome from there is anybody's game. And you just have to be proud of what you've accomplished and where you've gotten yourself.
Was you always satisfied with the judges' feedback? Did it just make you want to work harder?
Most of the time, with the exception of one thing. And I was working under, my coach was April at the time. I actually won an overall title at this show. But one of the judges' feedback, ironically, was, can you ask her not to wear colored contacts? My coach and then had to inform them that that's the natural color of my eyes. Okay. That's probably the only feedback I was ever like, I don't get that one.
Okay, that's a little different, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
It was the weirdest It was the weirdest comment I've ever had.
Yeah. Why they were so focused on your competition? I mean, your eyes.
I don't know. Now, my eyes do once when they're very, very blue.
Yeah.
So they do have the tendency with the makeup and the stage lighting to pop and become very dominant. Okay. So since then, when I approach any makeup artist, I let them know, can you kind of downplay the makeup on my eyes.
Right.
So that I've never gotten that comment. I don't know if I've gotten that comment again or if anyone's ever made it again, but that feedback hasn't gotten to me. So I have no idea why the focus was on my eyes. I'll take it as a compliment that they thought I had colored contacts. They are the natural color that I have. They are a very unique blue, and it's kind of weird.
Was it a guy judge or girl judge or female judge?
I didn't ask, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. Yeah, that's just the weirdest comment.
Yeah. All Ray George Page, if you could choose one division that inspires you the most, which would it be? Would that be with wellness?
Actually, I think the division that inspires me most is fitness, because I do not have the ability, the gymnastic-based ability for that division. I love watching those girls when they fly through the air. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that's intense. Yeah,
that's some crazy training. That is.
I know Missy Tresky. She jumped from. Well, she moved to fitness to figure. So
yeah,
are you familiar with?
I saw that announcement.
Yeah.
Well, your body can only take that for so long, right? Your knees and your joints can only take the tumbling for so long before it starts to get a little angry. That's fair.
Because they doing backflips, they jumping in the air, and I don't know how long do they work out? Just
they would have to add a significant amount of training. They would have to add a significant amount of time of training. And if you see some of the girls in fitness, they are seeing massage therapists and chiropractors to fix things on a regular basis to keep going. So they are far more inspiring than any other division.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take your hostage, but I really do appreciate you, sharing your experience as a bodybuilder, and I wish you the best for 2025 and beyond. You have any departing words?
Thank you very much for having me on the show. It was lovely, absolutely love to be here and have the chat and answer the questions from everybody. And I do have a YouTube channel myself coming online. That is going to look at what I specialize in, which is strength and conditioning and living a healthy lifestyle, not just physically, but mentally. And showing people that there's more to bodybuilding and there's more to the fitness world than just lifting the weight and why you're there. So,
Yeah.
thank you for the opportunity to speak, and I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, send me the YouTube channel so I could put it in the description. Yeah.
I don't have it yet, but as soon as I get it up and running, I absolutely will.
Okay. Well, have a good night and thank you again. And I appreciate
Thank you very
everybody
much.
coming in with the support. And yeah. All right. So I'm gonna wrap it up.
Thank you very much. You have a good night.
You too.